How's it going, parkour business owners? And in this episode, we are talking about your team, your managers, your frontline coaches, your frontline staff, your sales team, everyone who's helping you run the business. This is where a business can really take off and get to its next level because the team is so efficient. The team has a culture of high performance, a culture of appreciation, or this is where your business totally breaks down. If your team is filled with resentment, your team doesn't know what their roles and responsibilities are, your team constantly needs hand holding and direction from you, the owner. So it kind of feels like you don't actually have a team. You just have a bunch of kindergartners with your logo on their t-shirt. We want to get to a spot where you, the owner, are feeling confident and strong with your team, and your team is creating and driving the results with your community, making the impact that your business mission is all about. And of course, giving you time freedom so that you can build wealth, spend time with your family, go on vacation, train parkour, and the gym is still growing with minimum input from you. So there's a lot that you can unpack here. Again, my name is Jimmy Davidson with Motion Mentors, and our company is focused on helping parkour gym owners grow to your next level. We help business owners increase their profits, expand the impact that you're making on your community, and build wealth for yourself and for the team helping you at the parkour gym. All right, let's jump in on team. The number one thing you got to get is that each person on the team needs a clear role with clear responsibilities, clear metrics and KPI, the things that they're actually responsible for producing, and so on. So imagine you had a soccer team. Each person on that soccer team has a specific role. Your defense, you're the goalie. But if you just had, a bunch of third graders on a soccer team and none of them knew any concept of what position you're in, what that position does, or like how do we strategically work together to win, then it just looks like a bunch of kids running up and down the court, up and down the field. Your parkour gym may have felt like that at some times. So we want to know every single person knows what responsibilities they own. Let's start right there. The coaches, obviously, the most obvious is the coach is coaching a parkour class, but really what else is in that? After class, what are the announcements that they make? How are they driving engagement in your upcoming camp? Or how are they driving engagement in your upcoming workshop? So what extra, not just coaching responsibilities, do they have? And in the context of a class, what are the most important things? Is it most important that the coach is creating some intricate, nuanced, for the best kids in class only course? Or is it most important that the coach is facilitating something safe and fun and keeping the kids moving, right? So how exactly is the coach supposed to be a coach? What does success look like? And what is the feedback loop for, who's auditing that coach? How does that audit get reported back up to management? All these responsibilities need to be listed on a document. The coach needs to understand it and get that. And that's just for a coach. The same thing exists for a sales team. What are your daily responsibilities? When do you call people? How do you call people? Leads. For managers, what are you specifically managing? What are you accountable for growing? What are your results? All right. What does success look like? Each one of your staff members needs to clearly know what success looks like. And that should be something measurable, time-bound, relevant, all for the business, right? So if you are a salesperson, how many outbound calls are you expected to make? Well, I'm just going to make this up. If you have 300 calls made in a month, success. Maybe you need 20 sales in a month. If you did that, success. For different managers, they need to know what their key performance indicators are and what success looks like when certain numbers hit certain levels. Okay, and then what are they expected to track and how do they report their progress? For a sales team, maybe they have a sheet or their sales CRM keeps track of how many calls, how many people they booked, how many sales they've actually made. A manager, maybe the marketing manager, needs to know how many leads they've specifically brought in. So it's not just I made an Instagram post once last week and now I'm done, but that marketing person is on the hook for specific, actionable, measurable results. And then they need to know to whom to report that to, how they report it, like what communication channel. Do they type it up in an email? Do they do a scheduled monthly call? Or what is it? How do they report the results to who? Okay, that chain of command really brings us all together. And that is how you create accountability within a parkour gym. Once everyone knows their role and what specific things they're on the hook for producing and how to report it and when to report it, now the manager, maybe that's you, the owner, just needs to make sure that that system is alive and that cadence of data tracking, having performance reviews of like, okay, you didn't hit your goal or you attempted to hit your goal, but it didn't work out. Let's look at the process and see if we can tweak it. Doing things often enough like that is how you breathe a culture of accountability into your gym. And with that, you can move towards having a culture of high performance. Culture is the soil from which your gym grows out of. We are a service-based business. Parkour gyms are a service-based business. That means you and your staff, your people, are teaching and communicating and constantly interacting with your students, with people. When you have so many people and the whole business is revolving around the relationships and the way people treat each other, that is all culture. So your business really does grow up out of the ground and bloom from culture. Now, your culture could be one of high performance, where everyone knows what they're accountable for, what results they need to produce, how to do it, and they know that how to do it is also based on like how they treat people, how they listen, how they respond, how they take feedback, how they give feedback, the passion they bring into teaching parkour, the passion they bring into just interacting and helping solve problems, giving appreciation to each other when things go right. All of that could be a positive culture that could lead to a culture of high performance, that can lead to a culture of appreciation, that can lead to a culture that you, as the gym owner, feel good showing up to and standing in. The other side of that, when culture is not meticulously attended to, it can look like this. Maybe you have, a myriad of staff members who have a job, but they don't report on the results. No one is checking the results. It doesn't really actually matter to them because there's no consequence. So your culture of high performance is totally not there. Maybe no one cares to clean, no one cares to like tidy, no one cares how the gym looks or smells. So you don't have a culture of cleanliness. Like it's just the nasty gym. So why would anyone care about it? Maybe you have some staff members who feel resentful. And a lot of times you as the gym owner, you as the business owner, you've got a big target on your back. If something is wrong or if something's off, or even if a staff or a client perceives that something is wrong, it's just your fault. And a lot of times it is. But when you let that resentment go unspoken, or there's not like a space, there's not a culture of that. If you have a problem, you can bring it to me and I'll handle it like a reasonable, rational, kind adult. If people are actually afraid to bring you problems because you'll get upset, you'll ignore them, you'll fire them, who knows, then they don't solve problems, they just fester. And then those people become resentful towards you or towards other people on the team. And now you have a team of people who actually don't even like each other, or they are suspicious or mistrusting of you, the gym owner. So I just created two very different versions of what culture can show up like in a business. In the good culture, with the culture of appreciation, the culture of cleanliness, the culture of high performance, that business is able to look at their results, figure out where the constraint is, and grow it. And it's more than just the gym owner doing that work. Everyone is participating in the progress of the gym. And that is how that gym can get from level 2 or level 3 beyond to its next level. The other side, where we have resentment, we have a culture of apathy, we have a culture of this is just my job and I don't really care. There, it's extremely hard to make progress. Even if you, the CEO, are like, doing things right, and you can see that your constraint is like somewhere on one of the macro business pieces, marketing, sales, retention. Even if you do that, it's going to be really hard to make a difference, because you make a difference using people. You make a difference with your team doing the work. And if your team doesn't even want to, or they're not being managed well, or they don't have the training, or they just don't care, it's very hard. So sometimes culture and your team is the constraint. We at Motion Mentors, we do a lot of work with parkour business owners to get first them personally past their limiting beliefs and to develop and download those leadership skills that they need. And there's a lot of different leadership skills that you can grow into. There's different levels of personal and professional development that we help parkour gym owners grow through. Along the way, we also help your managers get really their hands around the task of like, what is my job? What are the results that I'm responsible for growing? How do I lead my team so that they also have their hands around what are my tasks, responsibilities, what's the culture, and help them grow. So if anything I said feels like something that you've struggled with, or something that if you had an improvement on, or if you had it all, it would take your business to the next level, or at least give you a gym that you enjoyed showing up at being in, or it would make you feel proud to own. We at Motion Mentors do a lot of work with parkour gym owners in culture and team development, because we understand that it is such a people heavy and dependent industry, and that is a feature that is supposed to be the case. It's not a bug. Okay, so if you need help with that, let us know, and hopefully something on this document. Oh, by the way, this PDF that I've been referencing, if you need a download, you can check out the link in the show notes down below. Okay, my name is Jimmy Davidson with motionmentors.org.